That's right. Welcome in. I can't even get through it without laughing. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks, to the LSU media and fan base has lost credibility, and now it's time for them to take some accountability. Edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it, subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications on, you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar Always Irish, or at Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it. You can get it if you don't want to see my stupid face. Nobody blames you for that. Get it audio only wherever you get your podcasts. Notre Dame on SI. Read all about it every day of your life. Patreon.com/Always Irish. We got an all-star team over there. Content galore. Something for every different kind of Notre Dame fan. I love the team we put together. Thanks to everybody who's there. Link in description. Check us out if you haven't yet. Well, folks, here we are. It's another failed season for LSU and Brian Kelly. Another season full of excuses and fancy suits and press conferences that sound right, but nothing's really said. Lots of golf, and it's time for some accountability to be had. I hate to do it. I'm just kidding. I've been waiting to do this show for 4 years. It was just a matter of when I was going to be able to, because I knew it was coming, and I called it, and I just been waiting. Now's the time. Now's the time. I want to frame this the right way. Let's get right to the meat of this. How bad is the situation for LSU right now? I'm going to tell you just how far this media and fan base has allowed Brian Kelly to lower the standard at LSU. This is a great example. Vanderbilt beat LSU, was favored to beat LSU, and didn't even think about rushing the field when they won that game. I want LSU people to let it soak in deep into your soul how far you have allowed Brian Kelly to lower the bar to the point where not only was Vanderbilt favored over you, but when they beat you, it wasn't even a big deal or that big of an upset. That is the level of how far you've allowed Brian Kelly to lower the bar at LSU. You've allowed it. The fans and the media. You allowed it, all of you. You've made excuses for the guy. You've let him get away with things. You kept finding reasons to believe when there wasn't. You're all to blame. You're all to blame. And you're all dead wrong about everything you said about this whole dynamic. And I'm here to hold you accountable. I can't let you get away with all those articles and podcasts and YouTube videos when you're dead wrong. You got to answer for that when you're totally proven wrong. How bad are things for LSU right now? I'll tell you how bad. I'm recording this between the Vanderbilt and A&M games. So if you're going, oh man, they just got knocked out of playoff contention by A&M or Alabama or both or whatever. How did John get this video recorded so fast? I recorded it before he got the third loss because I know it's coming. I know Brian Kelly better than Brian Kelly knows Brian Kelly. You know the failure's coming. So I recorded the video ahead of time. All I got to do is hit play once that third loss drops and he's eliminated from playoff contention. So if you're seeing this, they've either lost to A&M or Alabama or both. But I felt very comfortable with this usage of my time because you know he's going to fail. It's just a matter of when. So I had this ready for you fine people. Give you some entertainment. So let's get into this. The LSU media and fan base have lost credibility. Okay. And this isn't directed at one individual person. This is directed at all of those, the YouTube contingent LSU people. And there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them, and they work hard putting out a lot of content. It's just misinformed content, gaslighting their audience for 4 years in a row content. But they put a lot out. They put a lot of time in. It's just the information is the problem. Leading people on to believe for years that this Brian Kelly thing had a chance. Unbelievable. If only you had listened to someone who warned you this was coming, maybe you wouldn't be in this position. So this is directed at all of the LSU media people that carried water for Kelly, made every excuse in the world for Kelly. He needs more time. He needs more resources. The program was in the garbage when he took it over. He doesn't have the NIL money. That's not his fault. Like, maybe if he just gets these Porter guys. You guys have enabled this fall by covering for him and making excuses for him for 3.5 years. And now you're backed up into a corner where you just can't do it anymore. And now you're stuck. Now you're stuck. So this is for the LSU media contingent and the fans that were totally wrong about every single thing about this dynamic. And I'm here to go bullet point by bullet point to show where you were totally wrong. And every single thing the other Notre Dame media and fan base said was going to happen with Brian Kelly was true. And everything you said was 100% false. So just understand. The Notre Dame contingent was 100% right about every prediction we made about this. You all were 100% wrong. You need to admit it. You need to own it. You need to let it sink in. The only question is, are you willing to admit you don't know football as well as you thought you did? Because if you did, you would have known all of this was predictable. All of this was predictable. But nope, you couldn't do it. You were local homers with no discernment whatsoever, no objectivity about Kelly going to LSU. You covered for him, you made excuses for him, and now you're backed into a wall and you have nowhere to go because you know we were right. You know you were wrong. Period. There is really no gray area here. And it's just an amazing full circle thing here for me to battle all of these people on YouTube and Twitter all these years. And every single thing I said has come true. It is a joy to log into YouTube and under the comments on a Kelly presser, seeing all the LSU people mad and done with them and over it and seeing through his politician BS up there. Every single thing we said was going to happen has happened. Every single thing you guys said would happen has not happened. You were 100% wrong. You don't know football the way you think you do. You don't. You don't. Okay? So all I was asking for when Kelly left to LSU was for you guys to be honest about the situation. You know, good coach with a lot of wins or whatever. Issues against highly rated teams, personality stuff, work ethic questions, the golf course thing, all of this stuff. I just ask that you guys be honest in your coverage about what Kelly was and what he wasn't, and being honest about like things you're kind of worried about or whatever. But no, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. Your arrogance allowed you to manipulate all this and make the guy into something he was never going to be and never was. And that's on you for being homers with no proper objective discernment whatsoever. Okay. So let's get into a bullet point list of every single thing that we were right about and you were dead wrong about. Let's go over it. Okay. Number one. You said when this happened on that late November night, the news broke, Kelly's leaving for LSU. All of you, the media members and the fans on Twitter and everywhere else, you said this is big time SEC LSU football. Notre Dame is a small time school not to be taken serious. You were bragging about stealing our guy. You were so proud. I remember your tweets. This is what a big boy program does. They see something they want, and they have the power to go grab it from a small-time school. We're LSU. This is the SEC. We get what we want, and we bully these lower-level programs, and we do what we want. That's what you guys said. And you called me an idiot when I said Kelly leaving is the best possible thing that could ever happen to the Notre Dame program. You called me an idiot. You said I didn't know what I was talking about. You said that I was really deep down jealous you stole my man, and this is all just a cover for that. And that I didn't know football. How could I think Notre Dame would improve losing Brian Kelly? You all questioned my football integrity personally. And I was completely right about it all. You were completely wrong. Own it. You can't hide from it. Own it. Own it. So you bragged about being able to go steal Brian Kelly. You called me an idiot. You told me, watch Notre Dame spiral now into the ground, back to mediocrity or all this because Kelly left. The most wins in Notre Dame is, the most losses too. Funny how none of you mentioned that. Most losses too, including every single time a top 10 ranked team ends up on the schedule, by the way, with very few exceptions in over a decade. So you called me an idiot for this. Take a look at what's happened at Notre Dame. Since the second Kelly left and Freeman got the job, every single aspect of Notre Dame football has improved. Every single aspect. The play on the field, the big game results, the recruiting has never been better. The relationship between the head coach and the fans has never been stronger, probably since Lou Holtz won his championship. As far as everyone actually respecting and liking the head coach because he treats us like real people and he doesn't talk down to us. The boosters, the alumni relations, the NIL money, the people that want to work with Freeman to get things done. The donor base. Every single aspect of this program has improved since the second Kelly walked out of the door. Johnny was right. You were wrong. Notre Dame now as a coach, everybody else in America with like 3 or 4 exceptions wants. There's maybe 3 or 4 other guys that like the fan base would be like, we like our guy. Other than that, everybody would want Marcus Freeman, and a bunch of these schools are trying to get him right now. So let's get this straight. You were dead wrong about what was going to happen with Kelly at LSU, and you were dead wrong about what was going to come next at Notre Dame. This Notre Dame program has never been in better shape in the modern era than it is now, and it all started the night that guy left for LSU. I called it a blessing, one of the best things that could ever happen to Notre Dame, and you told me I didn't know football. Who looks smart and dumb now? So your whole angle of like, we're the big boy and we go get what we want and all that, you should have listened to me. You should have listened to me, but you didn't and you couldn't and you had to run your mouths and now you all look foolish. Number 2, you foolishly said that all Brian Kelly needed was to get away from Notre Dame to be elite. You swore Notre Dame was the issue, not BK. Look at these academic restrictions. Notre Dame guys actually have to be able to read. How can you ever recruit there? And they're not giving him the resources you need. And how could you recruit elitely to South Bend? That's impossible. He doesn't have the talent. The donors aren't working with him enough. What you need, all this stuff. You were sure Notre Dame was holding Kelly back, and Kelly wasn't holding back Notre Dame. You have been proven 100% wrong on this fact. 100% wrong again. Like, there's not even gray area. There's no dispute. You're totally wrong again. You made the mistake of thinking you understood Notre Dame football and Notre Dame culture, and you didn't. You stepped in where you didn't belong. You don't understand how this all works in Notre Dame. Everybody else in our ecosystem did. They understood. No one liked Kelly. The administration didn't want to work with Kelly. People didn't want to donate money to Kelly. He was a jerk to the media, to the players, talked down to the fans, all that stuff. You didn't believe it. You magically thought This is unbelievable. You guys were so arrogant. You magically thought that Brian Kelly walking on your campus would change who he is. It's like the most insane thing I've ever heard, that a guy with his track record of 30 years, you guys are so arrogant. You thought him just stepping foot on LSU's campus would change who he is and what he is. Unbelievable hubris by you guys to think that. Who do you think you are? That you thought him just walking onto LSU and all his flaws would go away. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So that whole concept that as soon as he got away from the shackles at Notre Dame would fall and LSU would rise. It has been the exact, complete opposite. Own it and admit you don't know what you're talking about, and you're dead wrong, and we were right. 100%. It's not even a gray area. Let's get into some more details. I'm having fun with this. I said at some point in the relative future, Brian Kelly's going to rub all the fans and the media the wrong way. Check. It's unbelievably entertaining. He's calling you spoiled. He's yelling at the media. He's turning purple, yelling at your players. You're all mad about him not saying anything in these press conferences. All predictable. All exactly how he operates. Something we told you you would quickly hate, and you couldn't hear it. You refused to listen. And now you're saying all the same things we were saying. It is just the most beautiful retribution of all time to see this come full circle. He called you spoiled for having high expectations. It's amazing. It's amazing. And it's just so funny. All of you guys that do the YouTube stuff for LSU, I just get a chuckle over these 3.5 years. I see your videos. Every time Kelly does a presser, all you guys can't wait to cover it. You took everything he said serious. You're reporting. Look at what Kelly said in the presser. Only now you're realizing it was all BS, empty, hollow politician speak. Polished suit, no polished play on the field. And you all ate it up, supported it, made excuses for him, reasoned away his shortcomings. We just need more money. He just needs more time. He just needs $20 million to hit the portal. Everything will be fine. Now look at you. Now look at you. So I said he would start rubbing everybody there the wrong way. Now he's finally there and doing it. I said that he would eventually piss off the boosters. Too much golf. Not good with the alumni relation. I said that. Check. T-Bob the other day was yelling at Kelly to quit golf and to get down to business. Some of the booster circle, I know some Notre Dame people that are big swingers down in that area, the country club scene. They don't like going to a thing meant to drum up money for LSU, and the head coach doesn't have time, doesn't want to be bothered. Oh, look, John was right again. Check. I said he's going to fail in big games at LSU just like he did at Notre Dame. Check. Look at that big game record. Check. I said his quarterbacks, if they're there more than 1 year with them, their numbers will regress. That is his history. A check. A check. I said the last thing you should all do is fall for all of his polished pressers and his nice fancy suit. I told you they were all empty words, and you all ate it up and supported it and bought into all of his BS all this time. You're all to blame for where you are right now. Your median fans allowed this drop by not being fair, doing proper reporting, and questioning things. You all supported them and encouraged all of this till you don't have a choice to anymore. It's so beautiful to see you fail and be totally wrong. We're SEC media. We know better than everybody. No, you don't. No, you don't. Totally wrong. Totally wrong. You said once he gets to fancy LSU with all this talent and gets away from the constraints of Notre Dame, he's going to be elite because the last few coaches won titles. You can move anybody in here and win it. Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast. You made the mistake of thinking you could change a man. You could change a helmet, the location, even a recruiting base. You cannot change a guy. And you were so arrogant, you thought your institution could change a man. That is arrogance I can't wrap my mind around. I really, really cannot. It's a sad situation, quite frankly. Not for me, but for you. $20 million to build this roster. We're going all in on this year. $20 million. Hit that portal. Kelly's got to drum up his own money from his contract to get some NIL going. You went all in on this year. Now look at you. Have fun in the Cheez-Its Bowl, bro. Cheddar for the win. So, and here's the other thing. They're not going to pay the $50 million or whatever to get rid of the guy. How do you think year 5's going to go when you lose all of the guys off this team you thought were going to make you competitive and you spent $20 million on? Now you're losing them all. What, 7, 8, 9 guys off the defense are gone. Your quarterback's gone. Your offensive line is offensive. I know that. So you're in a bad spot next year. So there's no light at the end of this tunnel. It's more misery you all deserve for your arrogance about this situation. Your refusal to even be open-minded about the Notre Dame angle on this. You all did this. You caused it. You're complicit in allowing Kelly to lower the standard at LSU. You, the fans and the media, did this. You allowed it all. You allowed it all. So every single one of you that's been making these excuses for him and covering for him should be ashamed. And this includes your media and your fan base. You guys had it wrong for the beginning. You just couldn't see it. You refused to be open-minded about the Notre Dame angle when I literally did a video 2 days after he went to LSU saying, here's the things you need to be aware of as an LSU person. You ignored it all. And every single one of them has happened. This is a victory lap for me. I am that petty. You question my knowledge about how this works and football and Brian Kelly. You told me I didn't know what I was talking about. Turns out it was the other way around. I may not be the best X's and O's guy, but I know people better than anybody. Your arrogance thought an institution could change a guy. Now you're finding out the hard way. So what comes next is you guys got to apologize. Like if you're in the media, you got to apologize for gaslighting all of your people all this time. All of the false belief, looking over his warts, covering for him, making excuses. Oh, this year we'll get it going. This is going to be the year. We're going all the way this year. Go back to the summer. Look at the way you guys artificially inflated this team this year for no reason. Hope you got your views, though. Good job. Good job. Your views are up. Your credibility's down. It's a rough dynamic. It's a rough equation for you. Oh, my God. So you guys really, what I want to see now is who in this media contingent is going to admit to the Notre Dame fans on air, you know what, you guys? I wish we would have listened to you and covered him differently and asked tougher questions and expected more instead of letting him gaslight us like this. I don't know, man. You guys got to dig out of this credibility hole because you were all totally wrong about this one. And now here's what I love about it. You're backed into a corner now because you know the Notre Dame people were 100% right. But it's hard for you to get on the air and say and dance around this without admitting that elephant in the room because it just admits you are dead wrong and you don't know football the way you thought you did. It's just got to be really tough for you guys. So I don't know, man. I'm glad you have Brian Kelly. He could golf more months out of the year than he can in Indiana. That's good for him. He could get out there in the winter still, play some golf. That's good. 11-11 in road games at LSU, and that's the guy you wanted and you were bragging about taking from Notre Dame. Congratulations. 11-11 in road games. struggles against the top 10, QB regression, soft culture, a fan base that hates the guy now, no connection with the fans, or ruining the culture, killing all the vibes, no playoff experiences, a jerk to the media, a jerk to the fans, a jerk to the players. Here's how I'm going to end this. Kelly's best win at LSU was that Alabama win year one. And I've seen LSU people ask, how does it make sense that Kelly got this big Alabama win in year one and then nothing since? It's gotten worse. How does that make sense? Again, you don't understand how this works. You guys are clueless. Kelly got that big win, which was awesome, by the way, year one. He wasn't there long enough to ruin the culture. What do you not understand about that? The longer he's there, the more his loser culture permeates and things get worse and the vibe gets worse. He wasn't there long enough to ruin the culture year one. Ever since then, it's permeating. Now the media is in a bad mood. The fans are in a bad mood. The donors are in a bad mood. The players that play with no edge. Soft culture. It's beautiful to see. It truly is. So I hope you guys are all enjoying the full Brian Kelly experience. But I do need you to admit you were wrong and we were right on every single thing. And I want you to admit you don't know football the way you thought you did. So I don't know where you go from here. You're in a really, really bad place. And quite frankly, I love to see it. This is a victory lap for me. For 4 years, I've battled these people online. And I knew I was going to be proven right on everything. It was just a matter of how long it took. We're finally there. It's great to see the misery. You all caused this. You're complicit in it. And you have no credibility anymore. So good luck. Have fun at the Cheez-Its Bowl.